Welcome back. Let's talk about Outlander Season 8, Episode 4, titled Muskets, Liberty, and Sauerkraut, because everything really begins to change in this episode. You can sense that something significant is about to happen as the tension that has been building over the last few episodes starts to boil over rather than merely simmer. Fraser's Ridge feels different from the beginning. Everything is tinged with unease. The tranquil haven that Jamie and Claire Fraser laboriously created is no longer there. Rather, it seems brittle, as if it might collapse at any time. Jamie is aware of it as well. It's evident in the way he conducts himself. He's vigilant, wary, and continuously considering his next move. Charles Cunningham is largely responsible for that tension. Everything about his stay on the ridge gets riskier after it is shockingly revealed that he is secretly forming a loyalist militia. This man is no longer only a man with dubious intentions. Rather, he is actively getting ready for battle, right in front of Jamie. The knowledge that Cunningham may not be alone exacerbates the situation. Some of the residents of Fraser's Ridge may back him. The true danger in this situation is that there is dissension within the community as well as an external adversary. Suddenly, Jamie is confronted with a scary possibility. Not everyone he has been defending may be on his side. Now, rather than responding with outright rage, Jamie does something more intriguing. He begins getting ready, silently, in a strategic manner. If the situation worsens, he starts to consider how to protect the ridge. For him, this is a different kind of struggle. Fighting an adversary is only one aspect of it. Another is keeping a community together when it is beginning to fall apart. The Mackenzies are drawn into this escalating struggle as well. It is evident from their engagement that this issue extends beyond Fraser's Ridge. Families are starting to come together, and you can see that the American Revolutionary War is no longer a distant event when the Frasers and the Mackenzies begin preparing for combat. It is present. It is genuine, and everything is going to change as a result. While all of this tension is building on one aspect of the program, Claire's tale strikes on an entirely different level. Claire Fraser is in a life-or-death predicament, as usual. The entire plan for what's to come starts to take shape with Jamie and Claire. Jamie says he's reconsidering everything. He is applying the information from Frank Randall's book rather than charging into peril. He explains that Savannah will be brutally besieged. However, the city core won't be reached by the conflict. Therefore, their family, Fergus, Marsali, and the children should be safe if they play it right and wake everything up there. However, being safe doesn't mean doing nothing. In an attempt to obtain weapons for a militia, Jamie sent Roger with a letter to Francis Marion. Jamie wants to create something more controlled of his own rather than join Cleveland's guys. Things become more difficult once you're back on the ridge. Jamie cannot just recruit openly because the majority of the settlers are still loyal to the monarchy. And one mistake could reveal everything while Cunningham was observing. Jamie then plays it clever. Rather than addressing Cunningham, he keeps him close. In essence, he keeps his adversary in sight. Claire draws attention to how closely all of this relates to the book, particularly with the emergence of characters like Patrick Ferguson. They're in the midst of history, whether they like it or not. Even in the midst of all that stress, Claire still has her calm moments. For example, she reminds Fanny that the people we lose never truly leave us by discussing sadness and memories with her. While the outside world begins to disintegrate, those moments keep everything grounded. Next, we focus on Roger and Brianna, who are fully implementing this strategy. Fergus and Marsali arrive with barrels of sauerkraut. It's not only sauerkraut, though. Gold is concealed within. The purpose of that gold is to purchase weapons. And Fergus recognizes the risk of that right away. Roger attempts to obtain weapons by seeking out Francis Marion, but is met with refusal due to scarce resources and his own notoriety after Monmouth. His situation worsens as he is prohibited from leaving camp, leading him to choose between waiting or intervening. He opts to fight, embracing the opportunity to shape history with a sword. Meanwhile, Fergus and Marsali grapple with the consequences of their printing company's neutrality, which attracts threats against them. Their attempts to be objective have failed, evidenced by escalating violence, including menacing messages and vandalism that strips away their perceived safety. Fergus's encounter with Percy Busson introduces a shocking revelation, further complicating their dire circumstances. Ken German is the father of Fergus. It sounds crazy at first, but Percy provides evidence to support it. Everything, music, begins to come together, including Fergus's mother, Emily, her past, and the brothel. And it becomes much more bizarre. Fergus is not illegitimate because there is a covert marriage contract. He is the legitimate heir. There is, of course, a catch. Percy's actions are not motivated by compassion. He wants Fergus to assert that inheritance gives powerful individuals access to estate-related land. Fergus is now forced to make a terrible decision: claim the legacy of a man he despises or turn his back on opportunity to make a huge difference. In the end, Fergus doesn't consider Sanjera to be his father. Hence, it has a strong emotional impact. That has always been Jaime to him. William, Brianna, and Lord John are in Savannah. Additionally, identity is central to this plot. When Brianna and William get back together, things get tough. She acknowledges that she always knew he was her brother and that she wanted him to join the family, but circumstances and time got in the way. William grapples with his emotions following a painful revelation, but remains neutral about the discovery. Lord John's intention for bringing Brianna is to help William, who has been adrift since learning the truth regarding Jaime. John hopes Brianna can connect with William in a way he cannot. Meanwhile, Amaranthus is forging her own bond with William, experiencing initial jealousy when mentioning Brianna, but her understanding deepens as William shares his truth without fear of judgment. In a parallel narrative, young Ian and Rachel face the aftermath of a brutal northern campaign that may affect Ian's Mohawk family. Recognizing the urgency, Ian plans to leave immediately, and Rachel decides to join him out of her own will, wishing to support him. She doesn't want him to deal with that aspect of his past on his own. Claire assures her that it's love, not jealousy. Jaime assigns Ian another assignment before he departs: visit Philadelphia to find out more about Fanny's history and the fate of her sister Jane. They are still attempting to piece together these individual tales despite the impending war. Jaime then divulges something more serious: the King's Mountain battle, the book's prophecy, and his demise. Ian doesn't think twice. In the background, militia operations continue in case that time arrives. He recruits individuals who are prepared to fight, even without weapons, while traveling with Ian and Josiah. However, a surprise follows. Buck Mackenzie appears. Tension arises right away, although he says he poses no threat. He is there to inform them that Rob Cameron is no longer an issue and to return Roger's book. Cunningham, on the other hand, still feels like an issue just waiting to blow up. He arrives courteously and expresses gratitude to Claire for supporting his mother. But there's more going on than meets the eye. He seems to be a silent menace because of the way he stays and makes subtle remarks. Although Claire maintains her position, there is undoubtedly friction. He's waiting and observing. All of the storylines lead to the same conclusion by the end of the episode. Nobody is avoiding this conflict. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives like this. See you in the next review.